Tom Doak is one of the most successful in a new generation of golf course designers, boasting 4 courses in the top 100 in the world. He learnt a lot about his craft under the tutelage of the legendary Pete Dye, but has also been heavily influenced by Alistair Mackenzie, who designed Royal Melbourne, among other famous courses. His own philosophy is described as minimalist, and when we caught up with him on a project in France, he told us what he learnt about design from spending time studying the great Scottish links.
I had a scholarship right after I got out of college at Cornell to spend a year in the UK and Ireland traveling around and learning about golf course architecture. Our department had a scholarship specially for someone who couldn't really study exactly what they wanted to study in college because they pride themselves on being able to study anything you want. And I made the case that most of the famous golf course architects had either been born and raised in Scotland or England or had spent considerable time there. And I had some great letters of recommendation. I had letters of recommendation from Pete Dye and Ben Crenshaw and Dean Beeman and just everybody in golf. I was still surprised they gave me the award. So when I got over, I caddied in St. Andrews for a couple months. I was actually supposed to work on the grounds crew at St. Andrews, but it was a recession and they couldn't, it's a town golf course. They couldn't not hire somebody from town. But I spent a lot of time with Walter Woods, who was the greenkeeper there for 20 years. And he taught me a ton about what you would call sustainability now. They didn't really have a name for it then, but Walter was pulling kelp off the beach off the harbor at St. Andrews, putting it out by his sheds to dry, mixing it with sand and making his own fertilizer. He did that a lot because he's a very practical Scotsman and he didn't have a big budget and that was the best he could do to get fertilizer. But it was a way different approach than I'd seen in the States. It was a way different approach to golf in general. It's just much more a part of life, much more affordable, much less, not just a game for people with money. You didn't have to be of a certain class to play. Everybody played. St. Andrews is the only place in the world I've been sitting at lunch, having lunch, and the table next to me was 3 teenage girls, and they were trying to decide what to do. And at the end of the conversation, they decided to play golf. You would never see that anywhere else.
Tom's courses range from rugged West Coast examples in North America to spectacular clifftop courses in New Zealand. But his latest project among the vineyards of southwestern France gives us an insight into the way he works and how long he spends at a Tom Doak design course before it opens.
This trip I'm on right now, I've been to New Zealand for a week, China for 3 days, and France for a week, and that's a hard life to live. It sounds glamorous, but that's a lot of time changes. Typically I'll go to sites for a few days at a time when I go. I don't make trips as often, but I go for longer because I don't like to land and start making decisions left and right away. I just want to walk around and see what's been done and get a feel for how the whole place is evolving. The last time I was here, I sort of left instructions with Jonathan for 4 or 5 greens and kind of what I wanted. He has them roughed in now about what I drew. So I'm here to edit those and get them done and then walk through the next 4 or 5 so that when I come back the next time, we can work on those the same way. That way, a lot of new jobs, I'm only there maybe 20 days during the construction, and yet I see every single green get built because these guys are really good and really fast. I mean, to edit once they've got everything roughly in place takes a half a day or a day in order to get it just nailed right and put the irrigation in and let's go on to the next hole.